3 years after the traumatic event involving 4 neo-Nazis that led to her father's death, 16-year-old Becky continues to live off the grid, evading foster homes and sharpening her survival instincts. After being picked up while hitchhiking, Becky and her dog Diego find refuge with a kind woman named Elena, who treats Becky like a daughter and doesn't press her about her troubled past. One day, while working as a waitress, Becky serves 3 members of an extremist group called the Noblemen. When their misogynistic behavior angers her, Becky retaliates by spilling hot coffee in one of the men's lap. This sparks a dangerous chain of events as the men secretly follow Becky to her home. Despite claiming his intention was just to intimidate her, one of them shoots Elena in the head, knocking Becky unconscious, and kidnaps Diego. When Becky regains consciousness, she vows to find her dog and exact revenge. Recalling that the men had mentioned meeting someone named Daryl, Becky investigates and discovers 2 local addresses tied to that name. The first address leads her to an elderly man, Daryl Sr. The second brings her to a secluded cabin where Daryl, the leader of the Noblemen's cell, meets with the men. Becky sneaks inside and learns that a town hall protest planned for the following day is actually a cover for an armed rebellion against Senator Hernandez. She also steals a thumb drive containing sensitive information about all those associated with the Noblemen. Becky taunts the men by leaving a cell phone on Daryl's doorstep. When they find it, they admit to kidnapping her dog, but they remain silent about killing Elena. Under Daryl's orders, one of the men is sent after Becky. She lures him into a concealed pit in the forest where she sets a grenade trap. The explosion decimates his head when Daryl reopens the door. With Daryl now pointing a gun at them, the men confess to Elena's murder. Realizing the protest is really a violent insurrection, one of the men, Sean, has a change of heart and tries to leave, but Daryl kills him by snapping his neck. Fearing both Daryl and Becky, the remaining man, DJ, drives off. Becky calls Daryl, continuing to mock him over the phone. She threatens to expose the plot against Senator Hernandez and reveals that she has stolen his incriminating thumb drive. As Twig searches for Becky outside, Becky shoots a crossbow bolt through his cheeks. The ensuing face-off ends with Becky hacking Twig to death with a machete. However, Daryl manages to tranquilize Becky and take her captive. When Becky wakes up, she finds herself tied to a chair. Daryl reveals that he has stolen her keepsake key, and inside the key's cylinder, he finds engraved numbers that he believes are coordinates. Just then, the elderly woman Becky had encountered earlier, Daryl's mother and the true mastermind behind the Noblemen, arrives at the cabin. Daryl Sr. taunts Becky by holding her dog hostage while demanding to know the location of the thumb drive. Becky manages to break free from her restraints. As Daryl leaves the room to recover after being sprayed with mace, Daryl Sr. attempts to shoot Becky's dog. In response, Becky throws a knife into Daryl Sr.'s forehead, killing him. Daryl Jr. chases her into the forest, where she sets animal traps that pin his legs and strangle him to death. Afterward, Becky retrieves her key. Returning to the cabin to rescue Diego, Becky discovers that Daryl Sr. survived the knife attack. He tries to shoot Becky but struggles to aim due to a head injury. Becky orders Diego to maul Daryl Sr. to death. The next day, CIA agent Kate Montana interviews Becky about the thumb drive and her solo takedown of a Noblemen's cell. Montana offers Becky a position with the agency, which she accepts. Montana then asks if Becky is ready to learn what the coordinates on her key lead to. Meanwhile, DJ, attempting to get back on the road after his truck breaks down, finds himself confronted by Becky, now dressed in a black suit and driving an official law enforcement vehicle. She uses a rocket launcher to blow up DJ and his truck. What did you think of Becky's revenge? Was it as satisfying as you expected? Or did you have a different way you'd want to see the Noblemen taken down? Don't forget to like and subscribe if you enjoyed the video. See you next time.